Welcome back to part 2 of the Mojo Moment with the Bronx Community Foundation, where we are exploring the needs of this community in New York with Desmon and Derrick Lewis. So Desmon and Derrick, one of the things I'd like to understand from each of you or both of you is what success looks like. What does it look like short term? You're a new community foundation. What's your goal? What would make things successful for you? We've got a lot going on right now. We're still in the middle of COVID. We've got the school year almost upon us, with challenges with kids being able to go back to school. We talked about the fact that Bronx is a digital desert. Short term, 3 months, long term, 6 months, or midterm, let's say through the end of the year. And let's go long term with a year. What does success look like for you?
Yeah, so go ahead, Desmond.
I was going to say, I think success for us ultimately is eradicating, poverty in the Bronx, right? That's our longer term strategy. One of the things that COVID-19 has demonstrated to us, and one of the strategies of our foundation, is that we want to focus on the community need, right? And what the community believes it needs to be successful. And so as a part of our relief effort, which is one of the sort of programs that we created off of the Community Foundation, is that we've identified sort of 8 core areas of need that the community have said that they need in terms of resources. And that's from food insecurity to housing stability, equity and justice, education, connectivity, and technology. And each one of those areas, we've identified major challenges that the community needs that we effectively want to eradicate. So if you look at food insecurity, to Derrick's point earlier, the Bronx is the most food insecure community in the entire country. Well, our goal long-term is to completely eradicate food insecurity. We want to see a community of food abundance and not a community of food insecurity. You talked about, Lisa, in your opening, that when the Department of Education, told kids to school at home, there were, north of 200,000 youth in our community that didn't have a means to get on the internet or a means to get access to the internet. And so that digital desert, we want to turn into a digital oasis. A place where anyone in the community can get access to the internet whenever they choose to and however they choose to. When we look at housing stability, the Bronx has the largest number of percentage of NYCHA residents in all of New York City. And when you're facing a pandemic like COVID-19, where it's challenging both the community, the CDCs, or the organizations that are supporting people in affordable housing, and then our residents are also out of jobs, we want a community that supports people that, through job placement. We want a community where our CDCs and our community development corporations have the funding they need to continue to provide the good work that they do. And so across every area of focus, we have a major strategy, a long-term and a short-term strategy to effectively, get rid of and completely eradicate the challenges that the community faces. And so that's our real long-term strategy. I don't know if, Derrick, you want to talk to a couple of the short-term, near-term sort of tactical things that we're working on.
Sure. So each of the 8 areas of need, we have a short-term strategy. So, we've to date served over 1.6 million meals in the Bronx, and we'll continue to serve those amount of meals. We're at about 36,000 meals a day that we're serving. So we'll continue to serve the number of meals. But to Desmond's point, in the long term, why does food insecurity exist in the Bronx in the first place? So our long-term strategy is really to eradicate that. We've distributed our education, connectivity, and technology area of need. We distributed 1,500 Chromebooks and MiFi devices to date. Why are we doing that? Why doesn't Bronx residents have readily available access to the internet or being able to get on the internet? And so we have a long-term strategy of creating, democratizing access to the internet in the Bronx. And so each of those areas, we have a short-term and long-term strategy. We encourage everyone to go to thebronx.org if they want to learn more about it.
No, that's amazing. What you guys are really looking to do and what you've done in just a couple of short months since you started this effort is work that bigger, more established charities, quite frankly, take years and years to do. You've got your 8 focus areas. You're looking to address this from a systemic and a root cause issue to provide sustainable solutions, not just a Band-Aid solution that fixes it for today, like loaning somebody a laptop so they can go to school.
Right.
When you have food on your table, you're in much better mental state to be able to learn, to be able to go look for a job. When you talk about CDC and job training, you're looking at ways to address the root cause issues. If a job has been lost because of COVID, how do we retrain? How do we upskill somebody? to go find that next level of employment. So I just, honestly, I'm so inspired and amazed, and that's why I wanted to have you guys come on and talk about this. We all know somebody that knows somebody that can likely help. So that's my ask of the LinkedIn community, of the YouTube community that follows the Mojo Moment. I'm asking everybody to share this, to point people to this, and to lean in. This is a community that needs help. So Desmond, Derrick, in the last minute or so that we have, number one, where do people go? The Bronx.org if they want to make a contribution?
Correct. Yeah. So you can go to sorry, go ahead, Lisa. www.thebronx.org, where you'll find all the information in terms of the great work that our community partners are doing with us to deliver the resources that the community needs. Of course, you know, for a foundation like ours, you know, and the community, you know, such as the Bronx, that's the greatest in need. You know, our main focus is really to fundraise, and so you can do your donation on the website. However, you know, as we always tell people, you know, assistance and help doesn't always come monetarily. So if you take a look at all the 8 areas of need on our website and you believe you can really provide help and a helping hand, you know, monetarily or otherwise, you know, please do reach out to us, even if it's just your time or your resources or help that's not, you know, money related. You know, we'd be keen to hear from you and get your support.
Excellent. And you can always reach out to me as well, and I'll channel you to either Desmond or Derrick if you've got things that you want to contribute, if you have technology assets, donations to make that may be non-monetary. We are at about time, but guys, I just want to thank you so much for the work that you're doing and give you my commitment that now that I know that there is another New York, next time I'm up there, as soon as travel permits, I'm coming to the Bronx. I'm coming to visit you. And I want to see the Bronx. I want to see what it's all about. So thank you so much for what you're doing. Thank you for sharing the story with us today. And I'm hopeful that we'll be able to use this platform to get some folks to lean in.
Thank you, Lisa. We appreciate the opportunity.
Thank you so much.
Talk soon.